If we made a running movie about you, who do you think should play you?
Who would play me? That's a tough question. Not any of the Khans, no Bollywood guys. Let's see.
All of us run for various reasons. We want to achieve distances, we want to achieve speeds, we want to do something nobody else has done. Today, let's meet a runner who runs and believes that we all should run for one single purpose: to enjoy the run, to have fun. Shortest run last year?
Yeah, shortest run that's an easy question. Oftentimes I went to KVR Park, saw the first hill and said screw it and stopped.
If we made a running movie about you, who do you think should play you?
Who would play me? That's a tough question. Not any of the Khans, no Bollywood guys. Let's see, Pawan Kalyan is the man of the season. Let's have him play me.
One running jargon that troubles you the most?
Running jargon.
Your favorite life quote?
My favorite life quote is, it's good to be lazy. It's always good to stop a run at any time.
What is the weirdest thing you possess?
The weirdest thing I possess is a telescope which I never take out.
What's your favorite running gear?
Favorite running gear is probably shoes and shorts and a t-shirt.
Welcome, Prasad.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, and I think what we want to hear from you is your perspective of running, how it helps runners and how age matters in running. Maybe that's something that you would want to help us with. What's your age, sir?
Take a guess.
I guessed wrong the first time I did.
Yeah, I'm 58,
Right.
Closing in on 59.
Okay, and you've been running from what you've told me for about 50 years now.
Yeah.
So one very frequently asked question, and unfortunately for me, I was asked the same question like a week ago by my mom, is you're getting old, don't run, it's not good for you. Is that really true? Does it hurt to run?
There are a lot of things people say is not good for you as you grow old. Running is definitely a natural thing in a human body. So I don't think running is going to is related to age much. It's related to your fitness, but if your age is as a lot of it's a cliche. People say age is just a number, but if you are fit enough, you can run. I don't think you should worry about the age part of it.
You've been running
forever.
Forever. Maybe I should not put the numbers there. But what's been the philosophy that's been keeping you in running? Like a lot of us start, stop, ended, then restart. Various, probably the way we're not doing it right.
Yeah, you got to enjoy. If you enjoy something that you're doing, you'll continue to do it. So that's true of any activity that you take up. So running is also like that. And I enjoy my running. When I run, it tells me that things are all okay. My heart is still pumping, my lungs are still working. So I enjoy the fact that I am able to run, whether at this age or at an earlier age also. I enjoy the whole putting on the shoes and going out for a jog or going out for a run. So it's, as long as it's not a chore, as long as it's not something as a target or as a part of some training, if you just get up and run, you'll enjoy it, and that's the minimum you should be doing. Whether you run a marathon or a half marathon, whether you're training or something, is a separate issue altogether. But you should always say I'm going out for a jog and go out for a run and enjoy the moment. If you do that, you will continue to think of running as something that you have to do, you like to do. You will do well with that.
Okay. Is there a particular thing you recommend we should or should not do in terms of mindset or activities or whatever it is that, don't run because you have to do this? Or
as it's running is just like any other activity, Chaitanya. If you should not be overdoing it. It should not end up damaging your body. So you have to take care of that.
Right.
most important thing is, of course, to enjoy the moment, enjoy the fact that you're out for a run. It's always good to have a target. It brings in discipline. It gives you some motivation, definitely. It gives you a feeling of satisfaction once you achieve that target. But irrespective of that, you should be getting up in the morning and or in the evening or any time of the day. You should be able to say, I'll be happy to go out for a jog or go out for a run. Your body should be capable of that. Your mind should be capable of that. That'll keep you going, I think.
It's been like what, another 11 years or 10 years since Hyderabad Runners as such became an entity. And how has it changed the scene of running in Hyderabad? Has some kind of bad habits come into runners, or they just gotten better and there's nothing called bad habits when you're running?
I mean, running, how can running be a bad habit? There's nothing bad about running, really.
Okay.
The only thing I would stress upon as a runner in the city of Hyderabad is to be safe. It's always dangerous to be out on the road and not taking care of things. So make sure the route that you choose. In the early days of Hyderabad Runners, I always advise that you don't do running on certain roads. Make sure that your roads are wide enough. There's a safe zone for your running. And along with that, to make sure where you don't put on your earphones, watch out for the traffic. Make sure that you wear bright clothes. Run against the traffic. These are minimum cares because not everybody has open spaces to run in. So you a lot of time you end up running on the road. So that's one thing. I wouldn't call it a bad habit. I would call that in your bid to be improve upon your last week's run, you should not forget your basic safety.
True.
We had one or two unfortunate incidents, as you know, and that's one of the bad parts about running in a city.
Coming more personally to your own running experience, how has it affected you in a non-running way? Like, running of course makes you healthier, but has it kind of added to other aspects of your life?
The very fact that I go out running or I'm capable of running tells me that my body is working fine. So that gives you that additional confidence. As people say, a healthy body is a good place to have a healthy mind. So that always gives you a confidence that you are, things are all okay. Once you're running, you know that your heart and lungs and basic stuff are all okay. So it's not as if you're going to keel over and die tomorrow. So things are okay. So that gives you that confidence. Oftentimes, the right amount of exercise in the morning, including the running, gives you a good burst of energy through the day also, and you get a good night's sleep. Just the fact that you've got up in the morning and gone for a run itself also gives you that satisfaction. Whether you run a 5 kilometers or you've done a 10 kilometers or you just done a 2 kilometers, it's still a good thing, and that satisfaction takes you through the day. So that's a good part about running.
I have a feeling this is a wrong question to ask, but not because it's anything controversial, but is there a right way to run?
Yeah, I mean, just like any physical activity, there's a most natural, most graceful way of doing things. I'm a tennis fan. Obviously, somebody putting a whole bunch of energy and hitting a forehand, and somebody like Roger Federer hitting a forehand, you know that the result of the shot is going to be different. The way Roger hits the ball compared to somebody else hitting the ball. I mean, if you're a cricketer, you would say how Lakshman hits a boundary is very different from somebody else hitting a boundary.
Right.
So there is a more natural, more less energy. I mean, more energy efficient way of doing things. But it may not come to you naturally.
Right.
It's something that. Even if you don't do it in that perfect way, it's not as if you're doing it a wrong way.
Correct.
There's no such thing as a wrong method of doing. So I would not put too much worry about that. But at the same time, look at other people, how they're doing things, and slowly try and change your way of thinking. If you feel that other person is doing it better, then you try and you yourself change your method of doing things. For instance, very simple thing, a lot of people run with their hands further up, close to the chest, and not move their arms. Arms are as much a part of your running as your legs. They also help in adding momentum to the body. So use your hands also to do a lot of work, and you could do that by taking your hands further down the body to your waist and putting a little more straight movement in the hands. So that will help you. I'm just giving you that as an example.
I get that. Okay.
So that's one improvement. People who are holding their arms differently, they could work on that. So you could, even though it's what you're doing is not wrong, it may not be totally efficient.
It may not be that bad also.
Yeah.
Is there one advice you would want to give a runner, a prospective runner who's thinking about running, who thinks running is not, whoever it is? This is okay. Whether you run, you do whatever you want to do, but this is what you have to do to make sure you feel healthier.
This I've said already.
Sorry.
You need to enjoy what you're doing. Okay. A lot of people say, okay, I have to run because it helps me in my fitness, but I hate running. My daughter says that, for instance, that she hates long distance running. She said that even 2 years ago when she took up the running, but today she's quite happy to say that she likes to run. So it's because she understands, she likes the moment also. She also feels the enjoyment of the running part. So once you get into that mode, and you should try to get into that mode and tell yourself it's not like you're eating your vegetables to make you healthy. You're eating vegetables because you're enjoying it. It's the same thing here. If you tell yourself that it's enjoyable, you'll do well in the running, and that should be the goal. You should go out and say, I'm doing this not because it's good for me, but because I enjoy doing it, and you'll do well. You'll enjoy that. Now
we are in the season for, I think, running season opener. I think almost for the whole country, Hyderabad Marathon. Well.
There's a running season. India is one of the fastest growing marathon countries, and there's a marathon. Okay. There are more events happening in India than anywhere in the world. So, I'm sure if you look at the record for some other countries, maybe you'll see. But the last few years, there's been an explosion of runnings, and your running calendar in this country is packed. So there's some event happening in the country somewhere or other all the time.
Okay. So in the context of Hyderabad Marathon, one question I always wondered. It's one of, at least in all the runs I've done, it's one of the tougher routes.
Yep.
Who thought it?
Well, I was part of the Hyderabad Marathon from the beginning. So as a group, we were part of the organizing committee from the day one. We had certain parameters in mind. So we wanted to start from Necklace Road because that's one of the great landmarks of the city. We wanted to finish at the stadium because we got a lovely stadium, one of the better ones in this country. And the topography of Hyderabad is that it's got the hills, and the Hussain Sagar is obviously one of the lowest points in the city. Gachibowli is one of the highest points in the city. So there's a natural corollary that you are going to climb up. Your marathon is going to be a uphill thing. So it ended up being one of the tough events. Yes, there were one or two flyovers that are added to that, which is what a lot of people complain about. But I think it's all good. There's no such thing. Why do you want a marathon to be easy?
It doesn't have to.
It doesn't have to be easy. So that's how it is. And I along with everybody else will take the credit for a tough marathon.
But is there a message for prospective Hyderabad Marathon?
Yeah, Hyderabad Marathon is a tough event. Okay, so if somebody is training for it, make sure that, first of all, a marathon is a tough thing. Whether you're doing a full marathon or a half marathon, it's not a walk in the park. You got to train for it. You got to put in the miles. You got to do your fitness. And Hyderabad Marathon is tough, as you said, because the terrain. It's also tough because of the season. It's in August. It could get hot. It could get sultry. Fortunately, we had rain in all but one event. We had rain, so it wasn't that bad. But it could, if it doesn't rain, it can get quite hot and sultry. Right. So more than the elevation gain, the weather can be a tough thing for if you're not trained properly. Okay. So don't think of this as any other marathon. Think of it as something over and beyond half marathon or a marathon,
Right.
and train for it, and you'll find that it's a very enjoyable thing. So train for it, run well, and enjoy yourself. That would be the message.
There's one aspect of most marathons, and I can't say everything I've run, but what I've seen is a lot of people kind of find themselves in a situation where they're throwing plastic or bottles. Fortunately, in Hyderabad Marathon, we've made sure the roads don't stay littered after a while. But we hope people don't really litter it in the first place.
Well, first thing one of the first two events we used to give water bottles for the runners, and consciously we wanted to make our event eco-friendly event. We want the city to look as good before the event or as it was after the event. Rather, the reverse, that it looks as clean after the event as it looks before the event. So we are very keen about making not making the city roads dirty. And plastic is definitely a no-no. So we were one of the first, even though we gave bottles and it's very convenient for runners, we consciously stopped after the first 2 or 3 events. We've been giving only cups, even though it's tougher for the runner to manage water from a cup. We still went ahead with that. And we would like to progressively tell runners also to not even go for the cup. We also give glasses of water. You drink from the glass, which can be reused right then and there. And that way even the cups, which also tend to be littering as well as filling up your garbage dump, because even those cups don't degrade very soon. So our message to runners would be to manage your drink from the so-called green water stations. Use the reusable glasses, and if you are so keen, bring along a water bottle, fill it up at the beginning of the run, and fill it up along the route and drink from that. That way you are helping us keep a clean event and also not contributing to the waste of the country, waste in the GHMC dump.
Is there a particular experience that you've had as part of running? Something funny or something serious, whichever?
Can't think of anything off the top of our, but being part of the Hyderabad runners, you must have heard about all the jokes attached to Ravi Setlam and being Auto Ravi. Well, you may not know about it, but he's called Auto Ravi because he was seen coming back from a run in a not finishing the run. So forever he's got that. got that name attached to him, so people keeps calling him Auto Ravi and telling him he doesn't finish the run. The funny part of that was that I was the guy who hired the auto because I couldn't finish the run, and he just tagged along with me in that particular run. So he got the appellation, but I got the ride.
Who, in your opinion, is one runner in Hyderabad who defies age?
It's a tough question. Off the top of the head, obviously, Mr. Hariharan.
If there was a name you could give your shoes, what would it be?
Floaters.
Is there a specific talent of yours that you find most useful?
Yeah, taking things lightly is not being too serious about many of activities is, I think, a good talent to have. I feel I have a little of that talent.
Which was the most, in your opinion, impressive running costume of yours?
I wore only 2 costumes. I think both were impressive, so that's okay.
I think I've seen both of them.
All the jokes attached to Ravi Setlam and being Auto Ravi.
Thank you so much, sir,
Sure.
for all the messages, and I hope a lot more people are encouraged by you.
I hope so. I hope I didn't turn anybody off.
I don't think so. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching this episode, which was made with the help from all these wonderful people. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and see you next week.